Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And Daddy's home.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington. Jeez.
Oh, God. And this is an episode of an anime podcast, Remington. And as you are, I'm sure you're aware, Remington, summer is we're in the dead heat of summer, getting close to the end of it.
Yeah, we're getting eerily close to fall.
Mm-hmm. And with that in mind, I've realized something quite traumatic or dramatic. There's a whole summer anime series, season even, that we have not really covered at all.
That's okay.
No, Remington, it's not. We've got algorithms to think about. People are going to be all on the look for, professional opinions on the new shows. What's worth watching? Should I spend my time in this show? And they come to us for those answers.
Oh, God, I hope they don't.
Look, we have to pretend like they do. Otherwise, the algorithm will come after us, and we don't want that.
I hope they don't, unless a potential sponsor is listening, in which case, they always do.
If you want to sponsor Anime Out of Context, head on over to Gmail and send us one of them very professional emails. But no, Remington, we're a couple weeks into the summer season, and we haven't touched any of the new anime, and I feel like this would be a good opportunity to do so, especially considering we just barely covered one of the, old anime of our childhood. It's time to flip the script on its head.
So what brand new, hot off the presses anime are we doing, Shaun?
Well, see, that's the thing, Remington. I had an interesting time doing research for this anime.
Oh, fuck. All right.
And by that, I mean I was researching 3 anime at once, and they all share a common theme, and I can't decide which one, so I want you to pick.
Oh, okay. All right. Shaun, I have a quick question.
What's your question, Rem?
By doing research, were you just happening to watch 3 anime at the same time and thought, oh, I should probably show Remington one of these?
Look, Remington, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of my very complex research process that involves watching lots of anime.
It's a trade secret.
Yeah, as they air. Some of them I look at the first episode and think to myself, this will be a great episode to show for Remington. Some I look at and be like, there's not enough to maintain interest in this one. And sometimes I'm watching a bunch of anime and I draw parallels in my head. And sometimes these parallels make perfect logical sense. Like, oh, these are all isekai. Or, no, wait, these are all shoujo. Or they're like, oh, these all have a spunky main character. Little connecting parallels so I can help keep all the different anime straight. And sometimes those parallels I feel like would be a fun concept for an episode.
All right, so what do these choices have in common?
Well, Remington, the overarching theme of all 3 of these that I have researched is regret.
All right, so first thing, anime out of context.
Oh, Remington, we're not in anime. We just talk about it, which is much, much sadder.
Oh, all right, that's good. I wouldn't want it to be one of the options anyway.
Yeah, no, that'd be too easy.
I wouldn't have chosen it.
No, who would? Who would? Certainly not all those potential sponsors who are lining up for our great bits. No, Remington. So the weird little parallel that I drew between all 3 of these anime is that they all have, themes of regret. And I want you to choose which anime we watch based on the theme of regret in each one.
All right, sounds good.
All right. So the first one that I have in mind, and another thing that I realized is there's a good chance you'll like one of these, there's a good chance you'll be okay with one of these, and a good chance you'll despise one of these with the ever-burning passion of 1,000 suns.
I would like the one that I like.
Well, see, in Remington, that's the thing, new anime this season, it's hard to tell which is which. I mean, you're a very complex individual with very complex tastes, and pleasures, and I don't want to assume what you would or would not like. So if I give you the vaguest possible hints possible, clearly speaking, it'll be the one.
Yeah, that's the scientific way to handle this.
Yeah, it'll be the best way to reach into your psyche and tap into what kind of anime of these three Remington would enjoy the most.
All right, let's hear those shitty hints.
All right, so the first flavor of regret is a very meta regret.
Okay.
All right.
Is that it?
Oh, yeah.
Is that all I get?
That's all you get, my man.
What the fuck?
The second flavor of regret is a millennial regret.
Okay.
And the third flavor of regret is a hopeful regret.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. All right.
It's a real Sophie's Choice, isn't it?
Gotta... All right, I'm gonna try and read too much into shit. Okay, so, meta regret, right? So, it could be that the show is meta, or it could be that, like, you regret watching the show, the creator regrets making the show, something like that, right? So that one, it's high chance to be interesting, because I like meta nonsense, self-referential stuff. But if it's the other form that I've deduced, then that one could be the worst one. Millennial regret, to be born? So maybe a nice little antinatalist anime.
Let's go kill some babies.
Oh fuck. And then hopeful regret. That one's the plainest, the blandest. So like you could have something like really inspiring and fun, like Your Name, right? Just really touching, or it could just be bland as fuck. Which other people would be like, wow, that's so touching, but I would watch it and be like, wow, sort of shit. All right, I'm not gonna do the first one.
You're not gonna do the meta one.
Yeah, I'm eliminating that one. I won't choose it. Are you willing to tell me how you think I would have responded to the first one now that I've eliminated it?
Hilariously.
Hilariously. All right, I think that one was the terrible one. I think I've avoided the terrible one. I think I might have figured out the meta regret. I'm going to choose millennial regret because that's more unique than hopeful regret.
Okay. So, Remington, the meta regret, as you might have imagined, was meta in the fact that I regretted watching it.
Haha, I solved it!
And you would have really regretted watching it.
I solved the riddle of the Sphinx.
And I'll just tell you the title alone, and it'll probably give you a good idea of why I regretted watching it. The title of that one was simply Kanojo mo Kanojo, or Girlfriend, Girlfriend.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Now, I won't go into more detail because we still might cover it in the future if there's enough requests for it. But let me tell you, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and here I am. The hopeful regret one was simply titled Bokutachi no Remake, which translates to Remake Our Life.
Okay.
Yeah. About, regretting things and then going back and trying to fix things,
Yeah.
Proper, nice, and hopeful. And
Sure.
finally, the one that we chose today is simply titled Uramichi Oniisan. What's up, Rem?
It's never good when I recognize the sound of a word.
Oh, yeah. Oniisan?
Yeah.
What does Oniisan mean, Remington?
Hopeful regrets actually sounded really good. So, we
You've
can
already
just...
chosen. You've already locked in your answer for Uramichi Oniisan. So
I don't know if I ever said final answer.
it sounded like a final answer to me, though. Like you rejected the first one, and you said you wanted to go with the millennial because it sounded more interesting.
All right. What is this? What is this bullshit? What is it?
So the proper English title is Life Lessons with Uramichi Oniisan. They just added life lessons in English to the front of it. It makes sense.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, because Uramichi is the main character.
Okay.
All right. So Remington, what this anime is about? It's about our protagonist, Uramichi.
Sure.
And
yeah.
he is a 31-year-old host of a television show.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. He is a gymnast, and he is the host of the morning children's show Together with Mama. And
okay.
so think of it as a PBS live action children's show where they talk to and entertain children on the air for the viewing pleasures of overworked parents at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as I'm sure you're aware, Oniisan is older brother.
Yep.
So in this context, Uramichi Oniisan is very much like these kids referring to him as like an older brother figure, you know?
Okay, that's much better in context.
Oh, it is way better in context. No, it's not a creepy sister fucking show.
Oh, thank
So
God.
far, at least.
Listen here, you son of a bitch.
I don't know, man. It's a new season. It could take a sudden left turn 5 episodes
Anything
in.
is possible in the world of anime.
100%. And it's just the story of him and his coworkers on the set going through their production schedule and their life. But here's the thing about Uramichi-san. He is the exact definition of an incredibly jaded millennial.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
And the show is a comedy revolving around him doing these productions, all the while trying to impose the realities of adult life on these little tiny children.
I think that has potential.
Yeah. And that is honestly as easy of an explanation as I can give you, Remington. It's literally just this 31-year-old man imposing on children that life is not always worth living.
All right. Well, hell yeah, relatable. Let's do this shit.
And with that, let's jump straight into it. Let's go watch some Uramichi Oniisan.
Previously,
Let's go kill some babies.
up next.
Edgy Twink Uprising.
This is your worst idea since, hey, let's do a podcast about anime.
Now, back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after consuming 3 whole episodes of Uramichi Oniisan. And I think I just completely said that wrong, but that's okay because we're professionals and, we've only been doing this for 3 years, so it was only a matter of time before I horribly disgraced myself in one way or another. Uramichi Oniisan. Thank you. There we go. That's what it was.
There you go. I'm so proud.
Yeah. And Rem, what are your thoughts? Do you feel existential yet?
Not as much as I was hoping.
Sorry.
I would have loved, and I think there was potential to just have full-blown existential crisis here, really have some moments of introspection and doubt within myself. But, I didn't quite get that.
No?
Let me say, this show, it's fine. It's a fine show.
Oh God, that's one of the worst reviews you could ever give a show, Remington.
All right, let's talk about it.
All right.
First of all, we're probably not going to be doing like a play-by-play, episode-by-episode too much in this one, because it really doesn't matter. This anime, a large part of it wants to be a slice-of-life short-form anime, because it's sort of like semi-vignette style, scene to scene, largely disconnected, but not entirely disconnected. And it's sort of slice of life, but also not really. But nothing matters with the show, which isn't bad. It's not terrible, especially because it is sort of slice of life. But with this show, Uramichi, I thought you start watching it, and I thought, there's some really good dialogue, right? I think their dialogue is actually really good, especially in episode 1. It's fun. You sort of have Uramichi, and he's a television show host, having a good time. But then he'll transition from being like, yes, kids, let's be all happy, and we're doing this now, to being like, and then when you grow up and you have no more life options, you'll have that crippling anxiety and doubt within your minds. Right, and those are fun transitions. Those are fun moments.
Yeah, very solid reaction faces as well, I'd say.
Yeah, but Shaun, the first note I wrote down, and this was genuinely 3 to 4 minutes in, I'm going to read it verbatim, okay?
Okay.
Because I write down notes as I do it, because I'm a goddamn professional. My first note, a couple minutes in, was fun, but may get old quick if they don't add more substance. Now.
I wonder where this is gonna go. This seems like a very familiar train of thought.
I had a hunch, and that hunch was indeed very true, because unfortunately, there is not a ton of substance within this show. It's a bit repetitive in the idea, and they're all good bits. I like the bits, but, all right, so first of all, this had to have come from like a comic or a web or like a weekly short form comic or something, right?
I mean,
right?
Well, yeah, it's a web manga. I'm sorry, it's a web
Yeah,
manga.
yeah, well, okay, yeah, no, it shows. And I think because it's not even that like maybe if you saw one episode per week, it's unironically maybe if you saw one scene every few days.
Oh wow.
Then maybe
Oh jeez.
Then it could be like pleasant and cool. But even just a full episode it's like a bit much of the same thing. Like 23 minutes of the same, and don't get me wrong, they do it's well done. It's a well done joke. It is the same joke every time.
Oh dear.
They do it well. They do the joke real good. It is the same joke. And it's just not sustainable at all. So, you know what, Shaun?
Yeah.
What I'm going to say, first, I'm going to talk about my favorite moments, right? I am going to talk about some fun moments.
Okay, some
At one
positivity in this negative show.
And then I'm going to spend the entire latter half imagining how it could be better. So.
Oh, okay, I see.
So, we like meet coworkers and stuff. At one point, Uramichi has to draw his friend, and he draws a nice off-putting bird from his dreams that I love. I love Uramichi's drawings. We've had a couple of them. They're great.
Yep.
And later on, they're like, hey, we were inspired by that cursed fucking dream bird, and we've made a puppet of it, which is also fantastic. I love that.
Right.
Really good moments there. We see such a cute fucking cat in the second episode. It's not relevant to anything, but it is adorable, and I adore that. The one joke they tell is a good one, and the language they use is really good. The dialogue, especially for those moments of existential dread, they have really good scripting for those moments. Okay.
Oh, that's it.
I think
You're done already.
Hey, to be fair, saying that one joke is well done and it has good scripting when they use it, that's pretty high praise considering 80% of the show is that one joke. So, like...
I mean, yeah.
I didn't have a lot to say, but I did cover most.
So you're telling me that this isn't the sleeper hit of the season?
No, I would not say that. But here's some options that could make it so, right?
Ooh.
Because I think this show, right now it lacks identity, right? I said it's sort of slice of life, and it's sort of short form as like, nailed it. It's from a nice web manga. The scenes, they relate more than they should, or less than they should. They're in a weird middle ground where a scene will follow one to the next, but in a weird way, where it's like, it's only half relevant. So you're tethered to the last scene, which limits you, but then you don't do anything with that tether. So it's just not great. So you could just make it a true slice of life short form anime. And I think that could work. It'd be pleasant. Probably wouldn't get as much traction because the nature of short form anime, I get it. But I think it would have a stronger identity and it would be closer to what they're going for here. However, but before I get into the other ideas, I do also, one last good thing.
Oh, wow.
The ED, the sort of end credit sequence.
Yes.
It's like insanely stylistic and artistic and a little bit like intense, and I have no idea why. It is the end credit sequence for it, I swear to God, just a different show. It does not belong in any way, but I liked it. Shaun, can you agree? Like, they mess with colors and a little bit of artistic style differentials, which sometimes they'll do in it, but it feels like such a more like dark, reflective show following the end credits, and I was like, oh my God, that's the show I want, which we'll get to in a moment. But I did like that, even though it did not fit at all.
Yeah.
But following that, you know what it would fit if we sort of embrace that a little bit more. Because one thing that the show will sometimes do is that it will touch upon an issue of adulthood, right? Because there's like genuine issues, like talking about like bullshit jobs, trying to mask a smile, and how like sometimes it fucking sucks, dude, right? And even the dialogue, once again, the scripting for it is really good in how it talks about these issues, showing that like they know what they're talking about with these issues. But they're never actually like exploring the issues. They just reference the issues and then they're like, haha. And So you could take it a little bit more of a dramatic way, right? So instead, what option 1, short form slice of life, properly short form, properly slice of life. Option 2, introspective, a little bit more dramatic. You can still have those comedy elements, still have that contrast, but it's more focused of behind the scenes and about like this sort of existential dread and crisis of trying to manage adulthood and put on this smiling face, right? You'd focus a lot more on the relationships, on the characters. You'd focus way more on the backstage stuff, right?
Right.
So that's option 2. And I think that could be really interesting. That'd be a neat show. And I think, like, once again, you explore those issues that they touch upon just in a little bit more depth. I'm using the ingredients that I've already seen in the show, and I'm just twisting them differently, all right? So that's option 2, Shaun. But that's not all. There's option 3.
3 options?
Option 3.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you join the anime industry? You should
God, no. Oh, God, no.
No, man, this will be great. We could start our own studio.
I don't like, no.
We could make our own anime with blackjack and hookers.
No, please, no. Please, God, no.
But Remington, you have to be the change you want to see in the world, Remington. This is your chance.
With
Become
all the love
an anime creator.
With all the love and respect in the world, Shaun, this is your worst idea since, hey, let's do a podcast about anime.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, if you have so many criticisms of anime, and you know what they say, people who criticize, clearly they should be the ones to make the things because they clearly have the better skill sets, right?
I make no claim of that. I can point out the flaws while acknowledging that I have flaws of my own. Continuing on, and avoiding this moment of introspection, third option, right? Instead of leaning into the drama, lean into the absurdity. Because you have some really fun, absurd moments. I mentioned, like, the weird dream bird with the strange face and, like, those drawings that are lovely. You have these moments of absurdity, but I wouldn't call the show absurdist. But what if you made it absurdist? What if you leaned in so hard into it where it's like, oh, what was that one show that we saw, Shaun, with at one point their, like, toe or something turned into a rocket. It was short form.
Oh, God.
I think it started with a B.
A B?
Maybe?
A B.
Yeah.
Oh, man, my man. Like, I know I'm supposed to be the anime expert here, but here's the thing. We've covered, like, nearly 200 of these bitches.
Oh, wait, was it? Wait. It might have come to me. No, that's not it at all. I think I was wrong about it starting with a B.
Well, that's a great place to start, Remington. I'm glad that we are able to... Can you tell me how recent it is, and maybe I'll be able to tell you?
Oh, long ago.
Long ago. Oh, so even better.
It was one of our first short form that we covered. And it was like silly and ridiculous, and
I
there was
can't
the
understand
robot.
what my no.
No, there was a robot person, robot kid, robot girl.
Oh, that wasn't a short form anime, my man. That was Nichijou.
Oh, God, it felt like a short form anime. It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of, like, bits and vignettes, and it's a comedy, but it's not short form. No, full episodes. Nichijou.
Cool, but I think Nichijou was much more absurd. Like, it had moments where you were just like, what? And it's like, sure, why not? Like, we don't need to be in the realm of reality sometimes. It's okay. Man. We don't need to justify it. I think maybe you take the show, right, Uramichi, and you make it more Nichijou. You make it more absurd. You say, well, maybe we make things that are blatantly like it's not even in their head, and they touch on these moments. They touch on them. But what if you just embraced it more, right? So we have a more absurdist version of the show. And I think that could also work, even, once again, with the ingredients existing presently in the show. You just take that absurdity even further. And Shaun, you know what? I don't just have 3 options. There is a final 4th option for the show.
Holy shit. Are you sure you don't want to start that studio, Rem?
This 4th option might be my favorite.
Okay.
I want this show to make it a bit more dramatic, right?
Right.
But take those moments of sort of existential horror that it has. And I'm gonna ramp this up. I want this to sort of turn into a psychological horror. Give me some, like, Death Note vibes from this, where it's like, is he okay? He is going to break. And, like, there's stakes. Like, shit's fucked in his brain. And we don't know what he's gonna do if he snaps. Like, make it a little bit of that. I don't know. If he snaps, is he gonna hurt the kids? I don't know, man. And it's like have some like comedy moments, but mostly Death Notify psychological horror of just this man being so destroyed by this system, right? By all of this bullshit that he just can't take it, and what happens if and when he snaps. And you can play around with it. He gets close a few times, right? He snaps at the coworkers, maybe while they're doing it, while they're doing a play fight, like they did a little Germinator versus Bacterian, talking about wash your hands or whatever, right? Maybe during one of those, maybe he really like he breaks the other guy's nose, and it's like it's sort of accidental, probably, but like, is it though? And he's like genuinely losing his mind. That would be real interesting. That could be real interesting.
I also feel like you're trying to get the rabbit killed. I feel like the rabbit's the first victim.
The rabbit would be fucked. The rabbit would be fucked. So, to summarize, I think this show, it has a lot of potential, but it's facing an identity crisis. I've proposed the 4 solutions. 1, you just make it the short form slice of life that it's sort of close to already, right? You just embrace that a little bit more. I think that would work. 2, you embrace the more dramatic elements, backstage relationship elements, where you talk about like the difficulties of these existential struggles, how they affect them in their day-to-day life, how it can be a genuine struggle, and how to continue in life through all of that. Really interesting. You can go wildly absurdist route. Go full Nichijou. It's sort of in reality, but sort of like, who gives a shit? Or 4, you go full Death Note on this son of a bitch. Psychological horror. Man's gonna break and go insane. All 4 of these options, Shaun. I don't know about you, but I think all 4 of those would improve the show.
I
like
think
any direction.
One more chance for that studio. I mean, we could have a clever anagram name. We could do some light novel adaptations.
God, no. God, no.
Maybe Reki would get in touch with us.
Oh, now that you brought up Reki, now I'm sold.
This would be
I'll tell you what, Shaun, I'll tell you right now. Shaun.
Yeah.
You and me,
Yep.
I'm not willing to start a studio with just us.
Okay.
But if you can get Reki to agree to start an anime studio with us, I'm in. All right? If you can get the writer of Sword Art Online
Yep.
as a part of this package, if you get him to agree with it, I'm in.
Let me just phone Reki Kawahara up real quick.
It's on speed dial, you know?
We'll see if he agrees. He's an amiable man. I'm sure he'd have a good time with it. There's a little bit of a language barrier, but I'm sure the heart will get across.
We're sure if he can fit it into his schedule, he's obviously in. Like,
yeah, no, 100%. Like, he's one of our best friends at this point. After all the nice things we said about his content.
Oh, fuck.
Well, Rem, it's hard to say where this show will go. After all, it's still a new series, and at the time of this recording, there are 7 episodes out, but for my research, I only watched 5 of them, because that's all that was available at the time. And it does seem to be moving a little bit more into that slice of life direction from what I can tell. But who could say? I mean, it'll get a full 12 episodes, so it's hard to tell at this point, unless you go and read the webcomic, but what kind of fool would go and do that right here and now? Come on. But honestly, Rem, I think that like this exploration into how this show could have been improved is probably far more interesting than the show is currently, honestly.
Yeah, genuinely, like, if anybody has seen the show, I want you guys, whether it's tweeting or send us an email, like, do you agree with my ideas? Because I'm pleased with them. I think any of the 4 would be an improvement and fix the identity crisis.
Yeah, and honestly, part of the identity crisis could partially be attributed to the creation of the show itself, Rem. Because I know you don't really give a damn about studio production all that much. But the studio that made this is a studio called Studio Blanc. And if you're wondering what they've made and if we've covered anything from it, the answer is no, Remington. And the other answer is, as to what they've made, is they've made 2 series, and they are both apparently abysmal. So, quite frankly, this is an upward trend for the studio. They're taking steps in the right direction from what I can tell. And honestly, who knows? Maybe from here on out, they'll truly have a very good product on their hand. Because quite literally, the best thing listed of their creations is this show. And it's not even frickin' done yet.
Well, yeah.
And I'm telling you this from a perspective of a man who's looking at some covers. One of them is a bunch of girls staring at a banana, and that is very uncomfortable for a variety of reasons. And the other one appears to be what I can only describe as lolly basketball. So I feel like they are going in the right direction with this show, no matter how poorly it's received.
Oh, yeah, it definitely sounds like we have the best of the three.
Yeah, the cream of the crop. Oh, no, excuse me. There is one other one that looks like, I can only describe it as edgy twink uprising. That's the only way I can describe that. Are they, guys? I actually cannot. They might be. I think they're all wearing skirts, but I think they might all be. Look, man, it's convoluted, and at this point,
it's the anime. It's the weeby gray zone.
Yeah, it's very gray. So gray, in fact, that it has a 5.74 on Mal. So I assume that it is not good.
Five. Oh my god!
Yeah.
What rating does this show have? I'm gonna guess something like, I don't know, 7.2?
Considering it's a currently airing show and it's gonna have a total of 13 episodes, it doesn't have a whole lot of interaction at the moment. So with only 12,000 ratings on it currently, it is sitting at a nice, pretty 7.57.
Okay, a little higher than I expected from the weeps, but still in the ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to realize law of small numbers mixed with the fact that it's a newly airing series, and a lot of people really enjoyed the web manga for its reaction images. And so far, this is basically just a slightly animated version of the web manga, from what I can tell.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It seems like it would work better as a web manga.
Yeah, or maybe in the hands of a better studio.
Yeah.
That actually knows how to take the animated portion of things out there. The voice acting is really solid, though, I will say. I think that's probably one of the best things that the show can offer. But with that in mind, Remington, any chance you'd want to watch some more life lessons with Uramichi Oniisan with me?
I mean, if you happen to pull up a really good moment from it on YouTube and you're like, hey, Remington, check it out, then sure. But if you're like, hey, let's watch another episode, probably not. I think there can be good moments in it. I don't want to watch the whole show to get to those moments.
You know, that's probably completely fair. And if it turns out to go in one of these extreme directions that you want, I will let you know, and maybe we'll do a revisit. But don't hold your breath, because quite frankly...
Are you telling me that Uramichi isn't going to pull, like, full-on Odd Taxi? That it's not... that's not where it's going?
If it does, like, in the 11th
it'd be so
hour,
good!
That would be amazing.
So
that would be, like, if it turns into a murder mystery or, like, a case of missing children. Like, that'd be so good.
Dude, children going missing, that'd be so good for, like, the psychological horror version. Especially, like, if we as the audience, if we aren't told whether or not, like, Uramichi has done it. And so we're stuck in the dark being like, hey, is this just some, like, weirdness going on? Or, like, did Uramichi kill some kids? Like, what's going on? Like, that, oh my god, it'd be such a good plot point.
It would be very, very good, but unfortunately, as things stand now, we will not know if it goes in that direction. So with that in mind... Thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed us, quite frankly, theory crafting a better show, then please do us a favor and leave a review on whatever platform you listen on, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and if you'd like to help us grow, word of mouth is a great way to do it. Though, if you'd like to support us even more directly, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where me and Remington will regularly be doing a bit of streaming content, whether it's playing games or just doing a little bit of a conversation or rating things on an absurdist level. And if you'd like to support us even more directly, then you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you can gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to have Remington read your name aloud on the podcast and horribly mispronounce it. Or in this case, it's usually sentences. We get a lot of sentences, but the sentences are very interesting, except for when they make us say very crude and crass things. In that case, it's either hilarious or it makes me sad. Either way,
Yep.
Remington, who are we thanking this week?
Well, first of all, I'd like to send our regards to our Magical Girls Plan Bitch protagonists. Also, to everyone else I'm about to read their name, we're doing a bit of a speed run because, Shaun and I are in a little bit of a rush. So, let's see how fast I can get through them all. We love you guys. Xanax, we hold these truths to be self-evident. We hold Dylan's dick. True. We walk me home gently. VTubers ruined by a YouTube algorithm. Tsundere Dragon, totally God. The world shall know propane. Taurus Moon, sorry mother. Silent Secondary. Shaun wants to fuck Arya from Aragon because he really enjoyed the book Dark with Light. Scoopy Loopy Boopy Doopy Hoopy Goopy Hoopy. Sarah Birch, Sammy Pritchard, Salty Pretzel, Sequoia Faye. Remington Merrill. Remington, help, I'm the real Shaun. Rem is my husband's waifu. True. Rem, you failed the name pronunciation test. Rem thinks the Attack on Titan set 2 Levi SP is the rarest White Swords card, but it's not. I don't get it. Ready to be easy guide. Shaun, we don't have time for interjections. Of course, I milked the cows. What do you mean they don't have horns? Navi, Mike the Mutilator. Matthew Drum says Rem's a bitch. True. Matt, I swear that's not my Joey Wheeler documentary. G. Makachop 92. Luke Offenberger. Lonely Geek 23. Juan Haritos. Jax. Ichigo Simp 015. I went to a whore. She said my wife's a bore, so quit my whining because it's bringing her down. I really want you to show me Jinro the Wolf Brigade next week, Shaun. It sounds risky. I believe in Taiga Isuka supremacy. Hunter Davies, hey guys, Remington here. Do you ever get collector's anxiety in huge open world RPGs? Glenn Michael Dolan, Joey Ghostly Bishi, I need more Joey Wheeler in my life. Gate Duck, Far Nation, Far Lam, Danish thing about lambs. Fuck of Love Foxen Boy. Fruit is the best V Shoujo girl. Farmer Weeb wants a Joey Wheeler. Hey yo, how about Rem does Pokemon tier list by edibility? See Brian David Gilbert's thoughts on that. El Duderino, Data Type, Darkstorm 713, Danny Morabito, Shy 900s, Christian Moss, Christian Crawford, Cheese Monkey, Cage in the House, Broke Bitch, Blake Dubin, Baron Bun, Muffin Beard III, Baby Bud, Ariel Bird, Apostle of the Church of Remington, Anime Doc, Anime On begs for no more Sword Art Online Truth, Andrew Rauke, Elise Howard, Alpha Weeb, and Audible Goff. Thank you all so much for anime waifus.
Jesus Christ, Remington, you can breathe.
And now we go to the Boy Wizards where everyone gets their own bottom of the barrel. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't have enough to come up with something brand new. Each one, all of you are getting a fucking hogshead. Pilster, the Symphony Advocate, bottom of a hogshead. MT the Poet, bottom of the hogshead. Bobo the Griff, bottom of the hogshead. Miguel Delion, bottom of the... We're running low on time, Shaun. Miguel Delion, bottom of a hogshead.
We have time. The
Lord
tweet says
Flexenor, bottom of a
after 7.
hogshead.
We're fine.
Kazu Morocco, bottom of a hogshead.
No,
Justin Messenger, bottom of a hogshead. I live in Ogden, yes, that one, bottom of a hogshead. I got Drew Daddy, bottom of a hogshead. Hinata is a ball of sunshine, bottom of a hogshead. Enrique Perez Torres, bottom of a hogshead for you, bud. Darth Pikachu, you get a bottom of a hogshead barrel. Can we watch No Game No Life next time, Shaun? That seems sketchy as fuck. Bottom of a hogshead for you. Absolutely every one of our Boy Wizards. Now, moving on.
I'm so sorry.
We get to our Shabano Musco tier, where everyone is going to get their own kids show. They're going to get their own kids show. So, Zachary Shirley's Open 8, all 8 intergates, the 7 Heavenly Breaths of Lizards to revisit IQ. You get Blue's Clues. Z-Kun, you get Sesame Street. Silicon Spectre, you are going to get Elmo's World. Raftalia is my anime waifu. You are going to get Courage the Cowardly Dog. Did I say Silicon Spectre?
I don't know at this point. I'm in the...
Silicon Spectre, you are going to get that one show with the lemur.
Zaboomafoo?
You know the one. Zaboomafoo. You get Zaboomafoo. And last but not least, my dear old mom, she gets the Firefly Funhouse. And so there we go. Everyone has got a show. Thank you guys so much. If you'd like to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, recommendation, or critique on these Patreon shoutouts, you can send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com or tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter.
Dylan, if you want to fix those in some way, feel free. But with that, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love you very much, no matter how strange Remington may portray it. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do-do-do-do. welcome back to Anime Out of Context. We watched the episodes of the show. How was it, Remington? It was the show. All right, well, thanks for tuning in.
Let's go fuck some babies.
Shaun and I, we hold Dylan's dick. If you can get Reki to agree to fuck the rabbit with us, I'm in. Is he gonna fuck the kids? I don't know, man. I don't think it's like that bad of a moral issue.